There are a lot of partnerships. Some of these incidents involve police and private citizens working together to solve a problem, make our city a safer place. But they're toned down versions because we have 18 and we'd all be here for a long time if I read the entire citations. So with that, let's start with our first recipient, actually a partner in law enforcement. Can we have Ramsey County Sheriff's Deputy Inspector Dave Gotch please step up. On January 21st, 2009, a property fire occurred at Rudy's Coffee House on West 7th Street. Inspector Gottschalk assisted St. Paul Police with the investigation. During the lengthy 4-month investigation, he discovered that an acquaintance of the prime suspect admitted lying in an earlier interview about key details and also admitted to helping the suspect make the Molotov cocktails. The investigation led him to a Walmart where security tapes showed the suspect purchasing a gas can and a cardboard shipping box. Both items' UPC codes matched the gas can found in the coffee shop and the box that contained some items that the suspect had given the owner the day before the fire. In May of 2009, charges were filed for 2 counts of arson in the first degree. It gives me great pleasure to award Dave with the Chief's Award for his outstanding work, partnership with us, and taking a dangerous arson off the street. Let's give him a round of applause. Some more partners of ours. Can we please have from the University of St. Thomas, Security Department, Michael Barrett, Brian Hamilton, Brett Nyman, Wells Farnham, Terry Pretzoff, Josh Sushi. Will you please step up to the podium? Nice. On September 8, 2009, these University of St. Thomas officers assisted St. Paul police officers on a call of a suicidal male, possibly on the bank of the Mississippi River, near the Lake Street Bridge. They began checking the trails along the bluffs and banks of the river. They then discovered the individual near Summit Avenue. He was semi-conscious, but was able to tell the officers that he had overdosed using various medications. Medics were immediately called, but the officers soon realized that the victim's condition was critical. They then formed a human chain. I want you to picture that in your mind, if those you know where the river bank bluffs are and how steep they are. They then formed a human chain passing the 170-pound male up the rough and unstable cliffs so he could be quickly transported to the hospital. It gives me great pleasure to present these officers with the Chief's Award. Thank you, gentlemen. I'll read the next citation. These 2 young ladies are not here with us today, but just to show you what people are willing to do to help out their fellow St. Paulites, I just think it's appropriate that we read this citation and we will make sure to get their awards to them. This is for Miss Amy Laskowski and Miss Stephanie Price. On October 5th, 2009, Amy and Stephanie were jogging on a path in Como Park when they observed an unresponsive man on the ground. They both immediately began CPR and had others call 911. By the way, they did CPR for quite some time. They continued to render aid until the medics arrived and took over. They were able to detect a heartbeat and transferred the victim to Regions, where regrettably he later died. But it does give me great pleasure to award them this Chief's Award and Life-Saving Award because, again, they took the time to stop, give CPR, do something to try to save one of our citizens' life. And you know what? I think we still should give them a round of applause even though they're not here. I hope I pronounce these names correctly. Can I have Mr. Huai Pham, Mr. Clark Westby, Mr. Cleve Nolan? Will you please step up to the podium? I apologize if I did not correctly pronounce your name. We've already recognized some St. Paul police officers for this same award, and these citizens really did help to save somebody's life, and I'll read the citation. On October 17, 2009, these citizens came across a man threatening to jump from the high bridge. Very dangerous situation when someone wants to take their own life. He was crying and stated that he was trying to get up the courage to jump. These gentlemen all talked to the distraught individual, trying to convince him not to jump. One of our officers, Sean Burton, arrived and motioned to these individuals to keep the victim distracted while he approached him from behind. Officer Burton was then able to grab his arm and pull the individual to safety. Without their efforts, without what they took the time to do, stopping and trying to not only distract but talk to this distraught victim, we don't know what would have happened. But this individual lived, received proper medical services, and with that, it gives me great pleasure to give them a Chiefs Award. Thank you. Again, we're seeing a common theme of partnerships, working together to make our city a better place. Will Mr. Namu Nimai and Miss Nicole Orfei please step up to the podium? Again, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. This truly is a partnership. Before I read this citation, there were some robberies that were occurring in our city a year ago, very dangerous, where a suspect went from just robbing people of their jewelry and other valuables on the street with a weapon to becoming more brazen and actually wounding someone and shooting somebody in the arm as he progressed in his crime spree. And if it wasn't for these two individuals, it may have taken us much, much longer to get this person in custody and take a very dangerous person off the street. Let me read the citation. In December 2009, there were several armed robberies in the area of the state capitol and Rice Street. The police were able to determine where the suspect lived. Apartment manager Mr. Namai provided valuable information on the suspect's comings and goings. He also provided valuable technical assistance. Office Assistant Nicole Orfei provided investigators with important information that greatly assisted in the identification of the suspect. Police were given unlimited access to the office and were able to hold intelligence meetings and monitor the camera at any time. Their cooperation and efforts to help our department were instrumental in charging the suspect for robbery and assault before he could commit any further crimes. It gives me great pleasure. Thank you for what you did to assist us, Mr. Namai and Ms. Orfei, with the Chiefs Award. Let's give them a round of applause. Can I have Mr. Devontae Peck please come up to the podium? On February 20th, 2010, Devontae's uncle was stabbed in the arm and his artery was severed. He was losing so much blood that he began to lose consciousness. Recognizing that he was bleeding out, Devontae rendered aid to him by applying pressure to the wound with his bare hands to slow the bleeding until medics arrived. Medics stated that if not for Dante, the victim would have lost his life due to the bleeding. It gives me great pleasure to award Devontae Peck with the Chiefs Award of Merit. I want to secretly recruit Devontae to become a police officer later on. I mean, I like young people. Can I have Mr. William Cheshire Jr. please step up to the podium? On March 2nd, 2010, while working at Paul's Lounge, Mr. Cheshire had contact with a person who was extremely distraught over some personal issues. After a while, the troubled man left the bar. Mr. Cheshire recognized that he was distressed and vulnerable, followed him out of the bar, and called 911 when he saw this person climbing over the fence on the bridge over I-94 to commit suicide. St. Paul police and state troopers arrived on scene, but Mr. Cheshire had made a connection with this individual. He never left the man's side during the 40 minutes it took to convince him to come off the ledge and not jump. It gives me great pleasure, and I know that Mr. Cheshire worked with some of our police officers that were also recognized. For him to do what he did, leave his place of employment, understand that somebody's in stress, I just think that it's just unbelievable. It makes me very proud to give him the Chiefs Award here today. Can I have Mr. Javon Thurman and Mr. Russell Madison please step up to the podium? I want you to listen closely to this story. I think a lot of you may have read about this story or saw it on the news. And what these two gentlemen did really probably saved somebody's life. I will read the citation as follows. On July 5th, 2010, Mr. Thurman and Madison witnessed an attempted abduction when a man approached a young teenage female near Case and Payne. The suspect actually grabbed the female and tried to push her into his car. The girl screamed and was able to push the suspect away. Mr. Thurman and Madison intervened and told the suspect to leave the girl alone. Now I want you to think about that, because somebody who is willing to try to kidnap someone else, I think we all understand how dangerous of an individual that can be. Once the suspect realized he was being watched, he sped away. Mr. Thurman and Madison didn't stop then. They jumped into their own vehicle, followed the suspect, and called 911 and gave us vehicle information about this perpetrator. They followed the suspect until police pulled him over and arrested him for attempted kidnapping. It gives me more than great pleasure, because we kept one of our young daughters, our young sisters, our young nieces safe because of what these two young men did. They didn't have to become involved. They could have put themselves, and actually did put themselves, in harm's way, because you never know what that other individual is thinking, especially when confronted. So again, it gives me more than great pleasure to award both of you a Chiefs Award here today. Let's give them a loud round of applause. I don't know about all you folks, and maybe not everybody here lives in St. Paul, but I too, like the mayor, live in St. Paul. This is why. Because it's people like yourselves that help to make this city just not a good place to live, but a great place to live. And for people, it doesn't matter how we look, it doesn't matter where we live, it doesn't matter what profession we work in, we take care of each other. I want to thank all of you again for being here, especially to the award recipients. We have cake, we have refreshments. Please take a moment for family members and others to come up and congratulate all the award recipients, and thank you so much for coming here today. Thank you again.